Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to an extra time segment of sorts, I guess. In other words, it's a brief recap of Everton's pre-season game, our first pre-season game ahead of the new season. Of course, Everton came from 3-0 down after 15 minutes to draw 3-3 with Blackpool. Not quite the start we were hoping for, that's for sure. Of course, I'm joined by Terry and Owen for this recap, and we'll start with Owen for this one. Do you watch any of this one, mate? What did you make of this?
Yeah, I watched it all. I didn't get into the stream predictably.
You're a braver man than me for watching it.
Yeah, I watched the full 89 minutes because I had an issue getting in the stream predictably for the first minute, and then once I'd already gone in the stream,
1-0 down.
Some bloke called CJ Campbell, or CJ Hamilton, whatever his name was, had already put Blackpool on to the good, and I thought, this is how we start the 2021 season, isn't it? 1-0 down to Blackpool. But yeah, I saw the other two goals and I thought, this is definitely how we started. And then we came back and we did pretty well from then on in terms of a level. But I don't know, it was all very pre-season, all very Darren Griffiths and Ian Snowden cliche bingo was going on and everything.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I wasn't watching the stream. I was busy, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because, obviously Everton Twitter descended into meltdown after those 3 goals went in for Blackpool in 10 minutes.
I weren't online for them for until after the game because I knew I was coming in their first 10 minutes. Whereas the game went on, I wasn't too bothered until Mo Besic got on the pitch because that angers me because I don't like Mo Besic because he's rubbish. So apart from that, I was all right with everything.
Yeah, I think it's hard to comprehend that Mo Besic is actually still playing for Everton in 2020. That's bizarre in itself. But this entire game was bizarre. The fact that we had to come 3-0 down from 3-0 down to get a draw with Blackpool is strange enough as it is. I'm not sure what's actually stranger: the fact that we went 3 goals down in 10 minutes to a League One side, or the fact that we actually managed to come from behind and get something back.
Definitely the latter.
Yeah. It was so bizarre. I mean, it was definitely not what anyone was expecting for the start of pre-season.
No, because all of our normal pre-season games of the past few years have always been like 0-0 dead rubbers or 1-0 or 1-0, and it's been
they've always been dour, haven't they?
Yeah, and that wasn't, but it still felt dour, even though it wasn't, and it was a very strange game, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was always going to feel dour once you went 3-0 down to Blackpool after 10 minutes. Terry, what about you, mate? How did you find this one? Did you watch it?
No, I've got to be honest, I didn't. I was washing my hair, but I honestly, I don't put any stock in pre-season friendlies. Like we won one 22-0 the other year. Like, didn't mean nothing then when we won one by that, and it wouldn't have meant nothing if we'd have lost that one 3-0 and not come back. For me, the pre-season games are they're for the manager. He's watching them in training all week. He's trying new things. He's seeing out what the levels are, and the manager gets a good look at them in a match scenario. And obviously, I've watched the highlights and I've seen like the goals, and I mean, there's some surprising culprits for the goals we conceded. Like Mason Holgate was terrible on 2 of them. I think it was the first and the third. Pickford's not good on one of them as well, and just nothing we didn't already know. Nothing we didn't already know came from that game. The midfield. I mean, I'm looking at what people were saying, and it was all the same complaints as normal match days. Midfield's non-existent, Pickford's terrible, etc., etc. So I come away from it not bothered, frankly.
You've not learned anything new there, but I'll have to disagree with you on the whole pre-season's only for the manager. I mean, it's quite clearly for Everton Twitter to descend into absolute chaos, isn't it? I mean, that's what pre-season's for. It's for Everton fans to predict that we're going to get relegated after half an hour of a first pre-season game.
There's this one particular Twitter account that's really doing my head at the moment, who's talking nonsense about Balassi being better than Iwobi and just all kinds of madness. And so he got the particular brunt from me at about 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. But
I think I caught a few of them, Owen, to be honest. I think I saw that.
Balassi better than Iwobi was one. a couple of he just Macheri should sell up. It peaked and Macheri should sell up because we were 3-0 down in a pre-season game. It was excellent. Brand should be sacked.
Yeah, so sack Brands was the one I clocked, I think.
Yeah,
it's just the supporters are just generally frustrated with the club, and they have been for like a long time. But it's like it's so funny how like it can't funnel out, like all that like fume, all that frustration can't go its usual route to get out at the manager in like down the manager's sort of pipe. It's got to go elsewhere.
No one knows where to vent their anger now, do they?
It's going
Marcel
in all kinds of
Brands.
untold places at the moment.
Well, Marcel Brands is a good one, but then I don't know what he was saying, but Darren Griffith and Ian Snowden were getting it. Like, what the
that was fantastic. Though,
like, what do you want them to do? Sit there and give scathing reviews on the club's in-house, stream commentary? It's like
to be fair, Roy Keane did it all those years ago.
I like Darren and Ian. I think they like just because they're like an old dressing gown, they're like an old house coat. They just make you feel comfortable. And like, because they've been there for so long, and I remember listening to so many games like on like the audio stream, when you couldn't get to away matches, and they'd be like, they'd be the club's sort of radio stream, like they on the website. I don't know what they've been saying, but apparently they were given like a glowing sort of tribute to Bill Kenwright, which, to be honest, if that is what it was, that wouldn't. That's
not going to go down well on Everton Twitter.
No, it wouldn't have went down well with me either, but I don't know, what you'd expect at this point. Like, they're going to do that, aren't they? But it just made me laugh that, like, we were 3-0 down and people, that they were getting some of the flack.
No, but to be fair, I think they're asking for trouble with, like, if they're, like, blowing smoke up Kenwright's backside in the middle of it, hammering off Blackpool.
The game in the back of a transit van or something like that. I don't know. I don't know, but to be fair, when I said this morning, when there's so much that people hate about the club, and it's not the usual, the manager, everyone gets it. I think even the fans get it. Blame other fans. Darren Griffiths, Ian Snowden, Marcel Brands, Macheri, Kenwright. In reality, it's just a very inadequate.
Yeah, I've heard another one. Like, what was the other one I heard? Now apparently Denise Barrett Baxendale's a closet red.
Yeah. That's it. She's the CEO of the whole company. Is undermining us because she's a big Liverpool.
She's a cop.
God, everyone gets the blame, don't they? But what I would say though about Ian Snowden and Darren Griffiths, they are very good for a cliche. Because I'm pretty sure I've heard that Kenwright one before.
What was it they actually said about Kenwright?
It's something I used to listen to games on the radio in the back of a transit van with his brother or some nonsense. I don't know.
So I just nearly spat my water out. We're definitely not editing that out at all, by the way. I don't want us to edit that out. That's fantastic. Yeah, that was wonderful.
I'm telling you, our Paul got the best ever quote I've heard about Kenwright was when Duncan Ferguson in his testimonial thanked Kenwright and got all the crowd to cheer and applaud for him. and Paul went like a little girl reading a poem to Stalin up on the balcony. That's absolutely perfect. Like,
it is like Kim Jong-un or something, isn't it?
Yeah, like
the deal leader.
Like Stalin's killed millions, but like there's a little girl who's like reading a poem that's been written for her to say how much they love the leader who protects them. It's like, yeah, that's spot right.
To be honest, wasn't like that Duncan Ferguson testimonial in the middle of that summer where we were flying planes over Southampton telling Kenwright to get out and all that?
You know what? I don't know. It's so many bad summers now. They've all sort of melded together. There's just this big mad one with
cesspool full of trauma, isn't it?
Yeah.
It peaked when we started our pre-season off on the AstroTurf in Holland.
Yeah, I was creaming that, wasn't it? Playing on someone's artificial grass in the back garden.
No, the personal favourite, when peak Everton was definitely that time. I mean, I could go on forever about this one, but it was just that AGM with the Machiri and Steve Walsh and Joe Anderson ringing the police on Ross Barkley. Just that whole like Wednesday and Thursday night, not just like in January 2018, where it just completely everyone's head just fell off.
Was that when Steve Welsh was saying his excuse for not buying a striker was that we would have finished 7th anyway?
Yeah, that was the one. And then Mashiri got Lukaku threatened to sue Mashiri for racism because he called his mum like a witch doctor or something. It was Denise Barrett Baxendale said the city's all ours because we moved officers into the Lima building. but apparently Denise Barrett Baxendale's a closet red though, so you never know. It was all for banter.
Was that the Fab Four one as well, where he said we've got our own Fab Four? Rooney, Sigurdsson,
Tosin, and Walcott. I think.
And Balassi.
Oh, Balassi, yeah, it was Balassi. You know what? After that, the one positive of that was that he didn't speak publicly as much after that, Mashiri, because he made such a holy show of himself at that shout.
That entire thing was just class, and then Joe Anderson was like writing letters to the police because Ross Barkley runs his contract down. It's just absolute. That was just, but it's Everton.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely one of them. Like Everton Twitter's heads just fall off, and I mean, there's always a bad result in pre-season that makes Everton fans like start like losing the marbles, and it looks as if it's come early this time around. It's like very first 1-3-0 down to Blackpool. You can't get any better, can you? For like the Everton few, I mean, Chico Azul must have been loving
it. Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, Keith Azul.
Keith Azul, famed athletic journalist.
Ex-Sunday supplement.
I love the way his picture changed from Steve Walsh to that like random lad who was slating Scousers 2 weeks ago and everyone's head at the size of his forehead. He just picked that picture up, saved it, and used it. But because not everyone saw that from like Southampton and Newcastle and all that just looks like it could be someone, like could be him.
It's been an absolutely brilliant pre-season / sort of off-season for Everton Fume so far, and Chico Azul's obviously lapped it up, but it's just one of them. I mean, it's Everton in a nutshell, to be honest. Like, I was saying this in work today, we needed this summer of all summers a long transfer window to get our players in. We get the shortest one we possibly can, and the season starts within like 3 weeks, and we've got no one.
I know. I tell you what, though, the best shout I've saw on Twitter, I don't even remember who said it. It might have been Paul again, but it was the highlight of Everton's pre-season so far is when Seville won the Europa League, because you know that fella who flopped Fanta Scruff was dancing through the night. That little Spanish fella who fucking knocked him out.
Class. But yeah, that was about it as far as Blackpool away was concerned. We got a few glimpses of things we didn't want to see. Blackpool scoring 3 against us.
Sigurdsson
wearing the armband.
Enough for me. He was bought for the set pieces and that's his first.
He finally done it. He's delivered. It's only been 3 years.
Good. I had so many high expectations for him after the Hajduk split goal.
Yeah, I thought here he is. Look at this. Who's this baller here? Like, you're 45 minutes down playing. Hitting strikes 45 yards out, and
well, it's safe to say he's really kicked on from there, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, just goes through games, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. He's that good. Sometimes you just like don't even realise he's there. He's gone in a flash.
While we're out on Gylfi Sigurdsson, I think it's best at this point bring up that a certain Icelandic statsman once said that once blocked me for saying that he just simply wasn't a better player than Kevin De Bruyne. So who's laughing that way?
Jesus. And I knew he used to like defend Sigurdsson, but he didn't go that far, did he?
He did.
He did. He said, well, the only difference between De Bruyne and Sigurdsson is at Man City, De Bruyne's got players who'll put it in the back of the net.
Wow.
Well.
You've killed the segment now with that. I can't, but I'm reeling from that. I feel like just logging off.
Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that anyway for this segment. That's pretty much as we can go over a pre-season game without like losing our marbles and saying we're going to get relegated before the ball's even been kicked or whatever usually happens on Everton Twitter.
Who played well?
What?
Yeah, I
The
believe
left
so.
halfway as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was all right. Yeah, but apart from that, it's just basically typical Everton pre-season feud. Sign players. We're going to get relegated otherwise, apparently. And what's the other thing? Oh yeah, Icelandic statisticians like in for a barrage of abuse from Owen in a minute if he doesn't
I
book
don't
us
know. I
out.
wouldn't be able to. He's blocked me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
That's why he blocked me.
Yeah.
that's what it is. He just dishes it out and then blocks you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kenwright, Bashiri. Oh, I've got it wrong twice. Ancelotti. I don't know how I've done that, but Ancelotti's going to walk
It
out.
doesn't
on
matter.
the-
It's all of their fault. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
who it is.
To top it all off, Ancelotti is going to walk out on a £9 million a year job. According to the Daily Star, who've got good inroads into Everton, obviously.
Not
Yeah,
just
well,
the
clearly,
Daily
I mean,
Star, they're fourth-rate journalist.
But it's
Yeah.
also it's important though because we're going to miss out on Asmir Begovic now,
Oh, well, there we go.
and you know, Højbjerg and just it's a disgrace, and Carlo Ancelotti should be rightly upset that we haven't brought in Asmir Begovic.
Let's sign more 47-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it. To be honest, we just need to like bring Duncan Ferguson out of retirement just to shut up the commentators on Sky and BT. We're constantly like when Everton are playing terribly in the camera pans to Duncan Ferguson, what they wouldn't give to have him playing up front now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen that one?
I always think, when the camera pans on like Sky or BT or something and it just lands on Kenwright, I just think, Bashiri must sit there and think, how much more do I need to spend for this camera stays on me? Like, they still look at Kenwright as if he's the owner.
That's probably why we're still struggling.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there we go. We'll leave it at that before it turns into a Darren Griffithsonian and Snowden bashing session again.
Yeah, full circle.
Give us a comment, a like, and a subscribe on this video, and thank you for watching on the Toffee Blues.